I realized that there's not enough content on the channel, just you, me, and the mat. This channel was originally created for yoga in the middle of lockdown, and the algorithm directed me in other avenues. But I do want to make sure I'm continuing to make content for the mat, for you, if you are here for yoga. Today we're going to be working through some of the stretches that I do in my own personal practice, the things I gravitate towards because I know I need them, which is quad, hip flexors, hamstrings, and they're just super deep and feel really good in kind of the worst way. I know you know what I mean. So blocks, please, if you have them, and even if you don't have knee injuries, grab a folded towel, a blanket, something just for some extra comfort, and we can really just focus on our stretches and not sensations through the knee. Get yourself set and we will begin. Blanket down, hands and knees. We'll start with a little cat-cow. On the exhale, I want you to round like a cat, and on the inhale, go ahead and drop the belly, lift the tailbone. Make sure your head is going along for the ride. The head completely drops to the floor in that arching cat. And the back of the head reaches towards the tailbone on that cow pose. Give me one more. And as you pass through center, I want you to begin to walk your hands to the right. Go as far as you can go. Right elbow to the floor and the left fingertips reach a little further away. Press down into the ground with your hand and try to drag your hips away from that pressure. So long side body stretch to the left. Pass through center. Walk as far as you can to the left. You're on the left elbow. Right arm reaches long and sink. You're actively holding the floor by pushing down, but also dragging the hips away. One more breath. On the exhale, move back to center. From here, I do want you to try a churning of the ribs, which can be challenging. I want you to start with just a gentle C curve. I'm going to squeeze hip and shoulder together from one side, passing through center and squeezing to the other. So whether you realize it or not, we've already done all the 4 movements you need for your churn. Come into a cow pose. And I want you to think of C crunching to the right, arching to center, C crunching to the left, and belly drops. Continue. If you don't get it right away, that's okay. Just keep working through it. And you might notice your head and your hips are moving in the same direction, and your ribs are moving the other way. Try to reverse it. Try to make it one continuous smooth circle. Once more. And meet me in cow pose. Really important here, I want you to pay attention to that sacrum. Lift the tailbone to the ceiling. Try to drive the belly closer to the thighs as the hands walk further forward. Prayer stretch, coming down. Forehead is going to connect to the floor. Same thing as our side body stretch. I want you to push into the ground with your hands. Drag your hips away. Come up slightly. Bring your hands to touch like a prayer would or a steeple. Try to touch the back of your neck with your thumb sinking in again. Elbows push towards the floor. Keep pulling your hips away. Hands forward, rock through center. I want you to tuck those toes. And I want you to step into a downward dog, but bring your feet as wide as the mat. You might notice this makes life a little easier when you're still tight. Same thing as your prayer pose. I want you to actively pitch your tailbone to the ceiling. Squeeze and engage the muscles of your thighs and gently begin to send your body weight side to side. So I'm shifting my weight from right foot to left foot. You should be long through the back of the neck, so look through your legs or up at the navel. Center, you're just going to send those hips back, holding. Lift the heels, you can drop the knees wide, bring your toes to touch and take it into Balasana. Knees as wide as you can get them. Stack the forehead right on those fists. Breathe in. Let it go. I want you to center yourself. You carved out a little bit of time to be here with me. To work with our bodies, however they showed up today. Listen to the sensations. Finding your edges. Try not to judge. Reach the hands forward, traditional downward dog. So the toes are more in a close position, about 1 or 2 fists distance. Start with a slow pedal. I always have to do a little head shake here to completely let go of my neck. So make sure there's no crinkling there. And you might hate or love me for this. I want you to pick up one foot and take the big toe and the second toe and slide it along your ankle, basically through your Achilles tendon. Now I want you to use your foot to continue to drive the heel to the ground. So I'm using those toes to actually facilitate that stretch. Let's swap it out. Again, it's the big toe and second toe. I'm going to slide through, coming just above the heel and then driving the foot down. Squeeze your thigh on that supporting leg and release. Coming onto the knees. Let's grab those blocks. Start by sending your right foot forward. Now we're getting into business. Inhale forward, lifting the heart. Exhale, bowing back. Pull the toes towards you. Bowing down. And I just want you to move back and forth between those 2 points, just to warm up. Exhale as you push back. This is your half split Ardha Hamanasana to your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, lift the heart, drop the hips, and back. Next time you come through center, we'll sit up for more of a 90-90. So even if you have a bit of a forward lunge, I want you to pull back a bit. Tuck the tailbone under, so scooping under, draw the navel in. Try to see if you could feel that hip flexor down your left side. Interlace your hands, breathing in. Exhale, arch your back like a cat and push the hands away. Inhale, come up. Exhale, pulling forward. Do it once more. Push. Really draw in through that navel. And release, come forward onto those blocks. First, half split, push back. Draw those toes towards you. So I want to dig the heel into the ground. Lift the sacrum. So this should mimic what feels like a cow pose. I want to drop the belly towards the floor. It's not so important about how deep I am. As long as you're lifting through that tailbone, you're gonna feel it. Right, lots of times I see this. I feel nothing in my hamstring. Right, so it's all about the orientation of the pelvis. Rock through center, coming into that lunge. Let's scissor the inner thighs together. So you're gonna pull that right heel and left knee together. See how that feels. Going deeper yet each time. I want you to push down into the floor with your left shin. Right, so really driving down. So we're working from both angles. If that feels good, left arm can come all the way up and slightly reaching across. I'm actually gonna put the hand on my head and use that for leverage to push my elbow towards the ceiling. Breathing in. Exhale, pulling back. Half split, draw the toes towards you. Tailbone lifts. This time I want you to move a little, gently swinging your hips a bit. I'm gonna scissor them, pulling them left, and then come back to neutral. You should start to feel that IT band down your right side, getting a little action. Pass through center, low lunge. Again. We scissor, pull together, adding a twist. Left arm is gonna come to the outside of the knee. Right hand goes into your back pocket. It is a push-pull. So I'm going to pull and push. So I want to continue to press the pelvis forward while trying to twist my upper body. Look over your right shoulder. Engage your glutes. Downward pressure with the left. Breathing in. Exhale, let it go. Pushing back. Option for that straight on. I'm gonna take the scissor, pulling left with my hips. Make sure those toes are reaching towards you. I'm gonna take a walk. Blocks, if you're ready, if being keyword, can come across. So we're really working that outer edge of the hip. Breathing in. Exhale, passing through. This time as you come forward, I want you to set those blocks aside. Hands are gonna come to the inside. Setting up. If you would like, I'm gonna try to just roll to this edge of the foot. Right, so I'm gonna let that knee splay open. That might be enough, and this ankle is strong, so do not let it splay. There should be zero pain in your ankle. Some of you might be able to reach back for that foot, basically finding our quad at a whole new level. So if you think you might want to try, I'm going to reach forward with the right hand, swim it back. You can also just hold there. If you think you can bend and find, you bend and find. I'm going to first try to gently bring the leg closer to me. Oh. And then just kind of pass between a push. I'm going to push the foot into my hand. And I'm going to use my hand to gently pull that leg in. See, this is what I need to do every night. So if we can just make that happen. Open. And gently pull. Find the angle at which you think you need the most. Shoulder opening, kicking in. Or I feel my quad, so I'm just going to do a little hold. And release. Hands come to the inside. Let's tuck that back toe under. You're lifting. Try to step, not drag. Downward dog. Right meets left, pedal through. Sink those heels, lift the tailbone. I want you to tear your mat in half. So I want you to take those hands, push them forward. Take those heels, push them back, and split your mat right in half. Tailbone pitched nice and high to the ceiling. Exhale, compress your organs from the inside as you breathe out. Toes touch, drop your knees wide. Come all the way down. Stack those fists and let everything go. Just notice. It's a deep one. Rolling up. Whew. Bringing those knees together. Let's even out. Left foot's gonna come through, or else we're gonna have some problems. You thought you were crooked before. Let's get that second side done. Lift the heart, breathing in. Exhale, pushing back. Toes towards you. Just move at your own pace on the breath. Coming through center. 90-90 was first. I want you to pull back. Some of you may need to, some of you may not. You might already be there. So we're trying to create those two 90-degree angles underneath us. It is a pelvic tilt, I know. Squeeze those glutes, navel's drawn in. Hands, breathing in. Exhale, arch like a cat, really push those hands away. You're looking in at your navel. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe out. Keep engaging through the glutes. Once more. Exhale. Downward pressure with the right shin. In with the eyes. And release. Onto those blocks. Pushing back. Take that first half split. First one was just center. We're easing in. Lift the sacrum. Pull the toes towards you. If you're not sure if you're doing it right, do it wrong, and then you'll know you do it right. So if I curled my tailbone under and tried to fold, I feel zero stretching in my hamstring, but I can get all the way to my knee. Means nothing. Lift the sacrum, drop the belly. Now pull the heart forward. Breathing in. Exhale, pass through center. Come to what feels like your edge. Upper body's lifted, I'm crooked. I need to scissor, pull my heel and knee together. Low lunge, downward action through the heel, or I should say through that shin, and eventually arm is gonna come up. Either over, slightly to the left, or hand on head. I want to use my head as leverage to lengthen up. Engage that backside, draw the navel in. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Half split, pull it back. Lift the toes, lift the sacrum. Try your slight hinge to the right. And then back to center, right? So you should feel that little IT band action happening. Hold and breathe. Come forward and through. This low lunge was all about rotation. Square off the center, engage the glutes, come across with the right, back pocket with the left. So you want to push the pelvis forward. Use your right arm to rotate through that upper body. Look over your shoulder. Active pressure down, right shin. Breathing in. Exhale, let it go. Last and final for this one. So find your edge, come to your initial stretch. Option to scissor inner thighs to the right and walk your blocks to the left. And that's one you might need to work up to again. Active pressure down through the heel, pull it towards you. Breathing in, and exhale, we pass through center. You'll want to set those blocks aside, hands to the inside. You can try splaying that knee open, holding there. That's actually quite nice to just kind of try to point those knees and toes to that left front corner of the mat, holding there. If you're reaching back, create length first. I'm going to come forward with that arm, breathing in and watching with my eyes to facilitate the twist. Then if and when, you're going to grab. So it can be a gentle pull towards you or a push. I suggest going back and forth a couple times. Here's where we start picking up on the obvious differences, perhaps between the two sides. Find an angle that you need. Mine is always in the quad, so I want to pull the foot towards me. Make sure you're breathing, because I barely am. One more breath. And slowly control the release. The toe will tuck under. Try not to drag the foot. Left meets right. Downward dog. Take those movements. Pedaling the legs, swaying the hips, pulling that mat apart. We're going to finish this sequence with an upward pigeon. Right leg to start. So you want to pull that knee to the wrist to come back. Let's start with a proud pigeon. I'm going to use those fingertips to really lift the upper body. Try to get yourself square to the front of the mat. Engage the muscles of your back. Downward pressure through your left, right? So you should feel, if you press down into the floor with that foot or shin, you get a little more stretch. Sleeping pigeon, long spine, come forward. You can stack those fists and fold in. You can stay static. I actually enjoy a gentle rock. There should be no pain, no pinching. Come up and adjust if there is. From that sleeping pigeon, you can stay on that elbow. So if you had the bind in our last stretch, I want you to stay on your left elbow. Right arm is going to reach up, hinge, hinge, hinge all the way back, and see if you can find the foot. I'm going to do that little pull in. Yes, you can also push out, but this is more, I think, for the quad. Try to engage your glutes if you have the bind. Release with control. I want you to rise up onto those palms. If you can't take the bind, don't worry, that is a deep one, but I want you to focus on Squeezing together between your two knees, keeping that upper body lifted. If you can take the bind, right hand is right in front of you. Once again, left hand is gonna swim back. Option again for the bind. You can pull in and you can do a little chest opener. I'm gonna kick into the foot. If you have tight quads like myself, my shoulders are bad too, but more quad issue today. You can take the bind and pull forward. Release. Back toe tucks. Let's resume D-Dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana coming up. You'll want to pedal after that one. Let the legs breathe. Give it a sigh. Let's see what that left side has to offer. Try to get all the way up by that wrist. Typically you need to kind of inch back. So we want to get as close to the floor as possible while being square. So try not to lean to the side. Proud pigeon first. Downward action. Hopefully you took my advice and you got something to support the knee. If you didn't, next time we know better, right? Hopefully you can do this one more than once. I should be doing it every night. Breathing in and keep the spine long. Let's begin to slowly melt down, melt down. Fists for the forehead. Static hold is fine. I like to gently rock. I think it's also quite soothing for the nervous system to just move a little. You can stay down and hold. If you're doing the first reach, I'm gonna keep that right elbow down. Left arm is gonna sweep, 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 sweep to grab, pulling in. Still try to keep those hips nice and square. Releasing. And if you can't take the bind, it's okay. That takes some time. Also, quads, right? So think of squeezing your two knees together, engaging the muscles of your back. If you're taking the twist, left arm is in front, right arm is gonna sweep for the grab. If you want this to be a chest opener, shoulder opener, similar to a dancer's pose, your hand goes to the inside of the foot, right? So that way it's allowing my shoulder to open versus here, I'm internally rotated. I want to not fall on my hip as I just did, but you want to push open. I have tight quads, which means I want to go this way. So customize your practice. Make sure you are controlled on the way out. And last and final, I promise, tuck your toes, downward dog. Just move a little, kind of bring the blood flow back into those legs. When you're ready, toes together, knees drop nice and wide. Send those hips back into child's pose. Breathe in and let it go. Rolling up. Let's bring those knees together. Unwind. And we're just going to finish with a pigeon on our backs because it's amazing. If you want something for your head, maybe using that folded blanket or a small block, I want you to come down, pull the knees into the chest, Just give it a little squeeze. Continue to hold the left knee and extend the right long. Just give it a little opening, push the thigh bone down, flex the heel, and then watch it relax. Left leg is going to come across. Use your hand to help pull. So right hand on outer, left knee come across and begin to relax into the twist. I want you to take a couple deep breaths. Keep that left shoulder on the floor. And as you roll to your back, I want you to catch the ankle. So I'm going to go left ankle to right upper thigh. If you take the bind, you can grab either in front of that shin or behind the thigh. Gentle swing. Notice if you swing ever so slightly to the right, you'll feel more stretch. Push that left hip open and relax. And release. Step your feet wide as the mat. Let your knees tent in. And for today, I want you to rest your hands somewhere along your rib cage, your abdomen, elbows relax on the floor. I want you to feel. Just being aware of the sensations in your body. Pull the knees in, squeeze. Exhale, squeeze tighter. Left leg long, just give it that initial opening by flexing the foot, drive the thigh into the floor, and then let it relax. Bring it across. Try to keep the right shoulder on the floor as you pivot across. Left pulls right. Look for that catch. I'm going to roll to my back. Right ankle, left upper thigh. If you can't bind, don't worry. Even just a little shift to the left while extending your hip away, you'll feel the stretch, even without holding. Find micro movements, go a little deeper. Coming back to center, place the feet wide. Let's tent those knees in again. Just relax into the floor. I want you to take a body scan. Acknowledge you made time out of your day to be here. You're working with your body. You're doing the best you can do in the moment. With your exhale, pull the knees into the chest and gently rock up. Like I said, these are the stretches that I would do in a practice, ideally every night. It is not a perfect world, and I don't have time for that. But hopefully you can do this practice, not just once, but multiple times. Hopefully I get to work with you again sometime soon. And until then, Namaste.